Alright, so it has been a while since I've made one of these videos here. I figured with the release of this 2022 Lowrider El Diablo, we would make another one of these videos. So, as you guys are well aware, Harley released the 22 Lowrider El Diablo. It is a revised version of the Lowrider ST. So this is a sport touring version of the Lowrider S. And what we see here is everything that you guys have came to expect and are used to with the Lowrider ST, which was also released this year. So we get the 117 engine, we get the bronze accented wheels, but with this bike, we are getting an amazing paint job. We are getting a limited number production motorcycle. We're getting a high output 117 cubic inch engine from Harley Davidson, which we have came to know and love. We're getting that amazing fairing from Harley Davidson. We are getting some beautiful pinstriping on this bike, as well as the custom badging on the gas tank. So that is absolutely amazing here. They put the little horn accents and the little tail accent on the Harley Davidson logo itself on the gas tank. Like I told you guys before, I am a huge fan of the streamlined gas tank. I love how they got rid of that accessory cap on this side, pretty much just decorative trim. They got rid of that. This bike does come with the audio system installed from the factory. It comes with this gorgeous paint job. It comes with everything that you would expect from the Lowrider ST, and it just is a gorgeous bike. I can't really say anything bad about this bike at all, except for the exhaust. I wish they did do a 2-in-1 exhaust on the El Diablo, at least on this one, since it is a high-end motorcycle. So let's get into it. They are talking about an MSRP around $28,000. That price is not terrible, but if you look at other bikes in that range, you guys can go with a road glide. You could go with a street glide, almost getting into the road glide special money here. So the new craze in the motorcycle industry has been these high-performing, low-weight, chassised motorcycles with the huge 117 engines on them. So this bike is a speed demon. This thing is super fast. Looks amazing. I wish they would have put the handlebars up a little bit higher. Wish they would have did a different exhaust, but got to pay that Harley tax here on it. I do love everything about this motorcycle except for the pricing. But is the pricing worth it to you to appreciate, like they say, the craftsmanship and attention to detail in the limited edition model? So I believe they're only making 1,500 of these bikes. It's going to be very rare. I know that our dealerships already have them on the floor. That's why I wanted to make this video, because I've been receiving phone calls about it. Actually referred one of my friends to go put his deposit down on it now. I just can't justify the jump in price here. You're talking almost $6,000 over the ST, and I believe that the ST in the gray and the black are gorgeous themselves. Yes, this is going to be a collector's motorcycle. Yes, it does come with the Rockford Fosgate audio system on it, and that throwback to the 1980s styling in the paint. So checking out some of the details here, just like the ST, you got the frame mounted fairing. So you're getting that FXRT Sport Glide, customized, modernized fairing on the bike. You're getting the custom crafted paint. You are getting the lifted rear suspension and the adjusted front suspension to make up the weight for the fairing. So if you are like me and you have like a 2020 Lowrider S and you want to put a fairing on this motorcycle, it'll look gorgeous, but you may have to adjust the tuning on your front suspension. You may have to throw some Legend cartridges in there. You may have to rebuild your front suspension and put some heavy duty springs in at bare minimum to get it to ride like a cloud, like it should. So Harley already did that with these ST models, and the El Diablo is no exception. So like they say here, you're getting precision oil / air cooling, 125 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500 RPM. That's exceptional from this motorcycle. These new M8s are taking the market by storm. Everybody that was a twin cam fan is now switching over. They see their eyes have been open to the M8 once they got done with, like, what was it, the 5th remake of the oil pump on the M8s. Now these engines are pretty much bulletproof. Like I said before, I know somebody who has a Heritage Softail M8 and they have 75,000 miles on it. It's a 2019. So there are people out here crushing miles with stock engines, no upgrades done to that engine, and they're crushing 75,000 miles with just basic maintenance. So this bike is absolutely gorgeous in paint. I love the emblem that's embedded here on the bags. They did a great job with the graphics, and they did a great job with the pinstriping on this motorcycle. Absolutely gorgeous. Is it worth the money to you? Well, that depends. Do you have the money? Do you have the ability to pick this motorcycle up? Are you going to appreciate the limited edition and the limited numbering on and badging on the bike? So I think it's going to be worth it to a lot of people. To me, is it worth it? I don't think it is. We look here, it's got that single cartridge 43 millimeter inverted aluminum fork front end on it. So that's what I came to love with my motorcycle. I don't really see anything different on these bikes. I know that they did go with the larger rear shock. I upgraded my shock on my 2020 Lowrider S, and I am fine with it. I think it is amazing. It rides like a cloud right over everything that I throw in front of it. So ABS comes standard. California has a $200 emissions fee on top of this motorcycle. So there's a $750 surcharge. There is a $600 freight. So you are looking, I would say, close to that $30,000 mark where I'm at. I know that people out in California are actually almost 10 grand over the pricing, just like we seen on the ST. So people are spending about $38,000 on this bike. So if you do live on the East Coast and you are able to pick one up, you might want to do it because we get a more reasonable pricing here since we don't ride year round. So it's just some things to consider. I love this bike. This bike is absolutely gorgeous. But to me, I don't know if I can justify the pricing over my Lowrider S. They did still keep the shortened bag on here, which, oh man, I don't know why they keep doing that. Because this bag here on the left-hand side, the non-exhaust side of the motorcycle, has so much storage in it. And they short it by a couple inches on the exhaust side. Very negligible unless you're actually looking at it. But to me, I just don't understand why they don't put the same size bags on both sides, because they know we are going to switch this exhaust out. I know that when I threw my Sawicki Speed Shop exhaust on my bike, it only comes to about right here, and it is no higher than this second exhaust. So I don't think that it would be an issue elongating that bag and making them the exact same size. I was also hoping that we would get a larger rear rim on this bike. If they would have went up another inch or two, I believe this is still the 16-inch rear wheel I'd like to see an 18-inch rear wheel on this bike and maybe a 19 or a 21 stock front. I believe the front is a 19, but if you went with, say, even a 17 or an 18 rear wheel and you threw a 21 on this bike, I think it would help with the suspension. It would raise the bike up a little bit, and I think it would just look so much better on this bike. But those are just my opinions. Let me know how you guys feel. I really do like this bike. I think that Harley nailed this one, home run right out of the park. Just wish the pricing would be a little lower. I kind of compare this to that Revival Electroglide that they put out. I really love that bike. I love the coloring of it. The more modern take, the 114 on that Electroglide that was modeled after the earlier ones. So I did love that, but I did see that that bike did not sell like they thought it would. I still have dealerships around here that have them there. They're still trying to push them, but a lot of people don't like the solo seat. They don't like a couple things that they did with that Revival series. I love it. I like the series they did with the Trike and the Pan America, where they did the military paint on it. Now, I did go look at this bike. My local dealership did get this in. I sat on it. Absolutely love it. I love the fairing. I love everything about it. But honestly, guys, I paid $18,000 cash for my Lowrider S 2020. I put the RWD RS1 rear shock on it. I have the Power Vision 4 tuner on it. I did the bars on it now, so I do have the 12-inch T-bars on the bike. I have it all set up the way I want, Saddleman seat, a bunch of Thrashin' goodies on it, and I threw the Thrashin' Supply bags on there, which have been perfect for me. So, I mean, I dumped a bunch of money into mine. When I brought it to the dealership to look at trading it in on this one, they're only offering me a ballpark of like $14,000 for my motorcycle, and I only have 4,000 miles on it. I don't ride it as much as I probably should. I love the bike, but I'm on my 2000 FXDX a lot more than I'm on the new bike, just because I love the rumble, the feel, and having no ABS and being able to control every facet of that bike. And that bike is tuned completely to my riding style. So they offered me 14 grand for the trade-in. I could not justify it. I would have had to finance, almost $16,000 or $18,000 after tax and title for this bike. I couldn't do it with a clear conscience. So you guys, let me know how you feel about this bike. Let me know if you have one, if you're going to look at one. Highly recommend it for anybody who is looking for an investment. They're only making 1,500 of these, and I know out on the East Coast you could pick one up for a little bit over this MSRP. You could probably flip it over on the West Coast, since they are limited in numbers, and make some money off of it if you're on that money-making mission. But to me, I would keep this bike. I'd probably park it, just because it will be worth a lot of money down the road. But we will see. Let's see if they sell, you guys. Just wanted to thank you for watching this video, and we'll get you another one up here. I'm going to start tearing apart the Street Glide, and we're going to start polishing a bunch of parts on it. We're going to give it some TLC, and we're going to bring it back to where it should. So thank you guys for viewing this video. Let me know how you feel about the El Diablo, and if you're liking it, like this video, leave a comment down below. Let's discuss, is Harley moving in the right direction?